My name is Sheila. Welcome back to the Neurodive Corner, your place for all things neurodivergent and the amazing people that care for them. So, today I want to start as always thanking the subscribers. Thank you for your support. Thank you for continuing with sharing the videos, engaging with the videos. Thank you for your kind comments. Um, Even thank you for the comments that are not so kind. They help you grow. They build character, I guess. You could say, "Hey, Alan. Hi, hi. How are you? How are you feeling tonight? I hope you're doing well." So, Alan is actually one of our top fans here in this little narrow dive corner, this neurodivergent corner of the world, where we sit down and talk about little things like that. I'm glad to hear you're good. I'm glad to hear you're good. And, you know, well, I'm sure you have seen generally how things are devolving, you know, with us, your neighbors. I saw your prime minister actually standing on business and calling things out. So that's very encouraging. That's what's going to help us kind of like snap out of this, right? But yeah, generally doing well. You know, coping, I guess, and living this sort of like duplicity or split screen type of life that we're all find ourselves in this moment in time. And that is kind of what tonight is a good segue. I always like to start by thanking the subscribers and whatnot. So just wanted to get that out of the way. So today we're going to be talking about complex PTSD. And we're going to do this because I am. Trigger is not the right word. By the way, trigger warning. Um, yes, thank you, Alan, for welcome everybody that just joined. Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, everybody jumped in. Hi, welcome to the Neurodive Corner. This is your corner for all things neurodivergent, and we're talking about complex post-traumatic stress disorder tonight. So yes, so thank you. Make sure you guys do all the cool stuff. Make sure you hit the bell, hit the like, hit the subscribes, comment, engage with the video. That helps our little community grow. So yeah, so we're gonna be talking about complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or CPTSD, because I I think we need to. I think in the midst of all of the chaos that we find ourselves right now, we need to address something that doesn't get spoken as much anymore, because it's sort of like, especially here in the United States, we have goldfish syndrome as a civilization. That's my theory. If it's not in the immediate headlines, it's just in outrage, big emotions, out. So that's kind of sad. So when we're talking about complex post-traumatic stress disorder, why am I bringing it up now? Because we have just been taken into another forever war, another pointless, purposeless conflict that is gonna cost. And tonight I want to talk to the Red Hat crew because usually they're the ones that are die hard, don't threat on me, I'm all for the vets, thin black line, all of that. And I am cool with all of that because I come from a family that has law enforcement and military in it. Military on pretty high places. And my family has had military throughout the spectrum. Military service members that saw combat zones, including 1993. Those of you that remember the first Iraq Desert Storm, I remember Desert Storm. I was 13 years old and I was heartbroken and protesting the war at that time too. Never thought that at 45 I would find myself doing it again for the same area. So complex post-traumatic stress disorder is gonna play a huge part, I feel, the next couple of weeks. Because this particular conflict and the way it's being bungled and mismanaged is going to trigger a lot of the veterans that participated in our last conflict in the Middle East. And these are veterans, and I can speak to it because I know a lot of them dated a Marine, and which is funny because I always said I would never date a uniform. They are usually players, so I know I'm generalizing. I just wanted to make somebody laugh. But yeah, so never thought that I was gonna find myself here. And I feel that this particular conflict is gonna start triggering our veterans, especially because they are, a lot of them are currently suffering. A lot of them got kicked out of their health insurance. A lot of them don't have good access to health care, access to affordable housing. A lot of them are in food pantries tonight. A lot of them are at shelters tonight. And those are the lucky ones to be alive. 21, 21 per day winds up having their own service weapon utilized against themselves. We don't talk enough about that number anymore. Same way we barely acknowledge the trauma of the the over a million people that we lost to the flu apocalypse, that we can even use the name of the virus in an educational video. Um, oh, the lovable, they loved a bull. I am so sorry. I am messing up the names. I am always messing up names, but thank you. Do I like Israel? I don't have a problem with the geography, if that's what you're alluding to. This is a podcast about neurodivergence. If you want to engage politically with the channel, I would point you to the shorts. In my shorts and in my normal videos, I kind of like do a little bit of like satire, political commentary, and that type of thing. But on this side, we keep it to the neurodivergent mental health part of it. That's why Alan has been so gracious to be manning the subscribers and manning the chat today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Alan. I appreciate you. And again, I don't have anything against Jewish people. I believe they are a lovely, historic people. I do. I can walk and chew gum at the same time, and a lot of people forget that human beings, even though that's one of the first things we throw out there when we're looking for a job, is, oh, I can multitask. Somehow, when we're talking about these issues, we forget that we can multitask and we can hold more than one truth at the same time. Life doesn't happen in black and white. Life resides in the middle ground, in the gray area. And usually, even the truth lies somewhere in the middle. So you're not going to catch me giving you a hard line position. I will tell you that I believe in universal human rights, and none of us are free until all of us are free. So I would say that's my stance in terms of the conflict as a whole, is none of us are free until all of us are free. And sadly, the Middle East has always, for millennia, has been fighting and trying to claim religious superiority and some divine mandate, when it's a lot easier to rationalize, use critical thinking, and actually coexist and respect each other. To me, religion is the opioid of the masses, and if it helps you in that way, if it sustains you, if it calms you, just like opioid do, if it calms your pain, it calms your anxiety, it provides spirituality it is an integral part of mental health. So understand that. And that's why I'm getting in here today and talking about complex post-traumatic stress disorder, because there is a difference. Our service members that came back from Iraq and Afghanistan, the most recent version of the conflict that we found ourselves for over 20 years involved, this is going to create a trigger for them. And that's why I said in the beginning of the video that there was a trigger warning, because we are going to be talking about unaliving yourself. And that is a huge part that I fear we're going to start seeing, because this conflict is going to start triggering untreated complex post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of our service members have gone for years without addressing and processing all of the trauma that they lived. And there's a lot of them that did more than 2 tours. That is a lot to take in, to then come back to your country and people expect you to function like life continue and get back to normal, get back to who you were, and discount everything that you might have been exposed to and seen. And there's an aspect in complex PTSD that is a little bit different from PTSD itself, and is that complex PTSD has flashbacks, avoidance at a very severe level. Same with focusing on the memory of a threat. It that is way more. It comes way more into focus when it's complex PTSD. It it causes high impairment, especially when it goes untreated, and it has a very big portion of guilt and shame, and that's where the danger comes in. We are right now not only embroiled in a conflict where service members have already lost their lives, those service members that took an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, and they are feeling very much used. And the conflict technically just started. Granted, Cankles already wants to backpedal because he is so dumb and has so little understanding of the workings of government that he thinks you could just be like, "No, bro, I just wanted to take your lunch money and we good. Here, like, I'll give you your lunch back. Matter of fact, if you want, I'll give you some pudding, chocolate pudding, and we good, right?" No, it doesn't work like that. And so the people that are getting ready to be part of a conflict that doesn't really have a defined purpose feels like it's part of an agenda and will require them to a lot of the times suspend their spiritual beliefs and expose themselves to moral injury. We need to advocate for them. If you to this point are still supporting this regime, if nothing else, start protesting because of the generations. Because we just done messed up a whole generation with getting involved in this. This is collective trauma happening in real time for them. There's no buffer. This is being broadcast 24/7 directly to their devices. So we need to get familiar with what complex trauma looks like, what PTSD looks like, how to support our service members when they come back home, because trust me, the little blooming onion and you telling them that you're thankful for their service is not going to cut it. That's not how we take care of our veterans. We need to do better. This conflict is not going to have a military solution. It's just not. Nobody's going to be happy with the solution. It's going to have to be a diplomatic one. It already has a super high cost financially, and I know people already in this country are seeing it in their pockets directly. If you pumped gas today, you know what I'm talking about. Same thing if you're a farmer or you live in a rural area where there's cattle and they depend on that, you guys know that they're feeling the pain. So this is going to create a lot of complex trauma because it's not only one traumatic event happening, it's a clusterfuck of traumatic events happening right now. People are scared, and fear is something that can drive anybody to do pretty much anything. How much testosterone have I had? I usually don't share how much testosterone. I'll tell you why. Um, I am too much of a selfish prick to share that with you because obviously, I make it look so good that, you know, not gonna give you the secret for free, right? So yeah, um, yeah, I'm pretty sure that my jaw is probably bigger than that geographical area. I mean, the reason they might be, which goes to show that you guys don't pick up a book or anything similar to it. It's not that big of an area for Israel. It's not that big of an area. Iran, I would say pretty big. Oh, thank you, Alan. Oh my God, you're so sweet. You're the best. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're thank you, Alan. Thank you. Thank you for manning the chat. I didn't even know that I could like do that. I like interacting with you guys. But, you know, yeah. Thank you for stepping up, my brother. I'm telling you, I keep thinking about moving to Canada. I think I give it a serious thought. I think like 2 or 3 times a day. Let me see, Snowbear. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. I introduce to you the book. This one is called 20 Amazing Women Every Girl Should Know. Da-da-da-da-da. Just in case you were not familiar with books. So yeah. So I just want to tell everybody again, start looking into practicing mindfulness, grounding, um, dealing with self care, mental health, because again, we are all experiencing very traumatic events consistently, and that does have a price. And especially for our veterans, we really need to advocate for them. Again, we lose 21 of them daily to their own hands. You know, a lot of them are eating their service weapon because this government sold them an empty promise. So we need to do better for them. We really do. We need to stand up for them. We need to remind them that they do not have to follow illegal orders. We need to provide spaces for them to protest and exercise their free speech because they had the cojones to actually defend the Constitution. So it is our duty to defend them from this regime. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, lift each other up, be nice to each other. Alan, love you. Thank you for manning the chat today. And again, for those of you that are not familiar with them, this is how they look. This is how they used to look. Books. Yes. Your best gateway to travel if you cannot afford traveling, which most of you are not going to be able since the Strait of Hormuz is closed and 20% of the oil moves through there. Just saying. I'll be talking to you guys soon. Bye bye.